Hi YouTube. I decided to do another weekly update. I did do an update last week, and it's been a few days since I've been posting much of anything. There's been a couple of reasons why. Life just happens, but so I decided to do a video and just kind of go over a little bit of my journey on the carnivore diet and how I'm doing. And so, according to my notes here, and again, sorry, it looks like I'm just this head talking, but I do have a tripod, and this is like the lowest it can go, and I am really short, so let me see if I can fix my chair. Ooh, that might help. Anyway, um, okay, and I always have to remind myself to look at the green dot. I don't know if anybody out there has a video or takes video or is a YouTuber or does YouTube videos. I always forget not to look at my face in the picture, but look at the little green dot because that's where the camera is, and I always forget. So if it looks like I'm looking off, it's just, I just forget to do that. But so I'm going to try to do that today. So hello YouTube, my name is Lisa, and this is my channel. It's Until We Meet Again, and I'm just here to give you another weekly update. So according to my notes, this is week 14 that I am on the carnivore diet or the carnivore way of eating, or just being a carnivore. And my whole reason for this is just to continue to eat as a carnivore, as low carb as I can get, because there's health benefits. So that's why I'm here. This is my channel. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for tuning in. Definitely like and subscribe if you could. And if you're a repeat viewer, thank you so much. Thank you for watching my videos, for comments, for liking. I appreciate that. I had no idea I would have any subscribers at all when I started this. This is such a unique niche, I guess, carnivore. There's a lot of well-known YouTubers that I didn't even think I would get any views or anything like that. So I'm very thankful for that and grateful. And so I just wanted to kind of talk today about how it's going, and I want to just be honest. My initial reason for doing this, for doing the video recordings on YouTube, is to track my progress, and definitely for my own, for myself, so I can see how I've progressed and the things that are the things that are healing, and just my progress, good or bad. So again, this is week 14. I have not weighed myself for about 3 weeks. I don't want to hug the scale. Sometimes that can be very discouraging, but I think I'm pretty much steady. I think I think I've lost approximately 15 pounds, and I feel like I'm steady on that. And I'm very thankful. Again, my goal is to get to 200 pounds, and I probably have about 20 pounds to go. So, and then if I get to that point, then if I get to that weight, I'll reevaluate and maybe set another goal. So let's see. So most of the time, I always have a little list of what I go through, and the things that are concerns for me on this way of eating. And the number one reason while I'm doing this is the inflammation and the pain that I have. Pain. I do have a lot of pain still in my lower back, my hips. Those are the issues. My hands, I do have pain in my hands. And from the start it has subsided a lot. And then I have some shoulder pain. And so as far as the general overall pain, mostly in my hips and back, that's the one thing that I'm really concentrating on, as far as if there's any decreases in the pain, because for some reason this is the most aggravating. And I do if I need to take extra strength Tylenol. I don't do it every day, but if I need to, I will. Like if I have to go do something, as far as like my small business and an event, I will take extra strength Tylenol. Not so much ibuprofen. It just depends. And that seems to really help me get through at least the hardest parts of the day. But so my pain level from a 1 to 10, 1 being least, 10 being highest, it's about a 6. It has increased to a 7 at some points, and I'll cover that in a little bit. It has today. I'm in New Mexico, and today has been one of the colder days. I think the temperature was may have gotten down to, I don't know, maybe 65. Anyway, it's cold for that. I mean, I've been wearing shorts and sandals, and today I have a long sleeve shirt on, and I have some thick sweats on and some socks. So it's cold, and I don't know if the cold is something that's aggravating, but I feel like if you have myself, if I have inflammation from whatever I'm eating, it's probably aggravated from whatever I'm eating. I'm guessing that it's most likely aggravated if there's any extremes in hot or cold, specifically cold. So it was kind of hard to get up this morning. I think I got up out of bed at 5:30. It was hard to get up. I was really stiff, and it was painful. And so I sat down in my recliner, and I kind of like put my legs up just to take the pressure off my lower back. And then I fell asleep again and woke up at 8. And, that's kind of how it's been on and off for the last year, because my hips can only take so much. I'm not sure if it's just weight and pain. So that's how I'm sleeping. It really sucks, but that's just how it is right now. Hopefully it'll get better. Some days I do stay in bed longer and wake up and then don't go straight to the recliner, but just get up. Those are few and far between. But I do find that I have to take some pressure off my lower back by getting in a reclined position, and just kind of hugging my knees close to me, just to, I don't know, it just takes the pressure off my back for some reason. I don't know, it's weird. Anyway, but that's how I've been sleeping. It's weird. I don't like it at all. I wish it was better. And so, but unfortunately, that has not changed since I started carnivore. I'm still at a 6, and it has increased to a 7 because I have gone off plan over the last couple of weeks. And I know that is a big contributor. I did have a shoulder issue. I think it was so let me look at the calendar. On the 17th of October, I was really busy. I went out of town to my hometown for an event. So I was really busy. It was active. I did not drink enough electrolytes or water the night before or day before and get any rest, which, first of all, is just a disaster waiting to happen. I did not prepare, and it was really hot. It was windy, and it was very physically arduous, I guess, during that day. And a couple of days before that, I had gone bowling. So I think the combination of these two things and me being ill prepared for that led my shoulder to being partially dislocated. My arm, I was in so much pain, and I didn't even think to tell anybody. I just kind of sat in my room, and I know over the course of about an 8 to 10 hours, I took about 6 extra strength Tylenols. That tells you how much pain I was in. And I know that's terrible. That's really bad. I should have gone to the ER or something, but I don't have health insurance, so I didn't. But I just tried to not do anything the day after. I had very limited mobility in my left arm. It was almost as if my arm was locked in a position and I could not lift it. And I haven't experienced this kind of pain in like ever, I think. Anyway, not really knowing or thinking that anything was wrong. And I kind of did some research to figure out that that's probably what I did. I don't think it was a full dislocation, because I probably would have I probably would have passed out with pain, because it was, I mean, it was pretty bad. But I don't think, I've known people that have dislocated their arm, and so I don't think it was that. I think it was just like partially out of joint, or I don't know how to explain it. And the only reason I know that there was something up with my shoulder in that regard is the next day, while I was still in pain, there were a couple of errands that I had to run. So I took a couple of extra strength Tylenols, and I got in the truck, and my mom drove and I was in the passenger seat. And I was just, trying to hold it together. And my mom, during the course of the day, my mom was driving and she went over a speed bump. And I heard this pop, like, I, it just sounded like a bone popping or something in my shoulder. And my sister was in the back seat, and I looked at her and I was like, "Did you hear that?" And she was like, "Oh my gosh, that was your bone or something." And as soon as it popped, I was able to move my shoulder up in my arm. I was able to raise my hand up, which I was only able to go, like, it was like locked like this. It was weird. Anyway, I was able to lift my arm, but I was still in a lot of pain. And so I did some research when I got home, and I'm kind of self-diagnosing myself that I think it was a partial dislocation. And it, whatever information I was reading about says that you will still have a lot of pain, just from if there was any kind of tears, or I don't know, in around the joint and ligaments. So it is still very painful. I've had a difficult time. I'm left-handed, mostly left-handed. I do use my right hand for a lot of things. So I mean, just even driving was so hard, has been so hard for me. Putting on clothes, putting on and washing under my arms has been just like so excruciating. But I'm a lot, like today, I'm doing really good. It's still a little bit of pain. I won't be able to, do a lot of things, but it's doing pretty good. I haven't had to take a extra strength Tylenol for, goodness, maybe about four days or so. So I'm so relieved in that. Now I'm thinking that there's a couple things that contributed to just me feeling better so quickly. Was number one, that it wasn't a full dislocation, and number two, that being on carnivore, my body is already has a low level of inflammation, which I'm very thankful for. That helped me to feel better more or quickly, or recover more quickly. And then I have my faith, and I was praying like crazy. And so that's what happened to me. And that's kind of why I didn't really feel like posting last week. I felt horrible. And I just took it easy. I had a good, I don't know, about 10 days just to just do minimal things. And so, that's what happened. And so I'm trying to be really careful, because it's a lot of the literature I was reading said that it can dislocate if you're not careful. So I'm trying to be careful. If it happens again, I will definitely go check in at the IHS, the Indian Health Service, to see and let them know what happened. Definitely what their course of action, my guess is, for something like this, is they're just kind of like a clinic that maybe like urgent care. They have limited patients they see a day. It's like first come, first serve on certain days. And if there's something that they're not able to help you with, they'll just refer you next door to the university ER. And generally the ER wait is probably 8 hours or more. And I just didn't want to do that. So I don't know. So I don't know if it is a dislocation or not, but I was in a lot of pain. But I'm feeling so much better today. Let's see. So I think that I had so much activity over the past 2 weeks with my small business. I think I had 5 or 6 major events where I had to set up and tear down. And it was just it was a lot more than I have generally been doing ever since, like a lot of you know out there, my dad died or passed away in July. And so these months and weeks afterwards, I haven't been doing much of anything or being social or getting out. Just, I've been kind of just in a grief recovery mode. And so I had 2 weeks of such activity. Maybe I just overdid it. So I think I have one more major event, which will have to set up on my own. Usually I have people helping me, but sometimes I have to set up on my own. And there's a lot of lifting and carrying and, just standing all day. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully I can get help for that. That's going to be on Saturday. I'll have an all-day event. But let's see. So my hands, my shoulder. So today my shoulder is going from a 9, 8 or 9, and today it's probably like a 3 or a 4. So it's okay. My hands, I did have lots of neuropathy in my hands, my arms, to my elbows, to my shoulders, starting on the carnivore. And I'm not sure if that was a vitamin B deficiency because I had been a vegan for 7 years, or if it was pre-diabetes. But and since going on carnivore, it's been almost, I would say 98 to 99% gone, but it has flared up because of the days that I went off plan. And so as far as the pain scale, it's probably like, I would say 90%. I'm feeling a little numbness and tingling. So I'm just hoping that the next 2 weeks it'll kind of subside once I reduce my carb intake to like absolutely 0, because I'm noticing that any time I eat carbs that are over 20 carbs a day, I mean, it really has an impact on my hands. Like, it's like my hands just go straight into neuropathy. And it's aggravating because it's kind of having to deal with the fact that I'm going to have to continue to eat low carb or near 0 carb life, like forever. And that is something that I've been having to wrestle with. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to feel about that right now. The other thing I want to track through the carnivore way of eating is just the recovery from grief. Because my dad died of Alzheimer's, I'm also very interested in dementia prevention. And I'm really encouraged that the eating like this can help to stop it, slow it down, whatever I need in order to keep that from happening to myself. And it may or may not happen. I don't know, and I pray it doesn't. But that's my other reason. And so, but along with that, it's the grief, tracking the grief. And so the last 2 weeks have been very hard, and I have been missing my dad a lot. I would say on a 1 to 10 scale, my grief has been at 9. There's been some days where I just cried all day. I don't know why. I mean, well, I know why, but, I guess for some reason I was thinking that maybe it would get better or subside completely, but I don't think it will. And there's triggers, definitely triggers. We are working on a memorial for my dad. We didn't have a funeral. And I think it really, really upset a lot of the extended family. But then again, a lot of the extended family were so absent from the care for my dad and his condition that I think a lot of them did not understand what we went through and what he went through. I think it would have made them uncomfortable. I think the days that they did, like the few and far between days that they did come to visit him, they see him for an hour and they don't see him, they don't see everything. And my brother and I, we really sheltered my dad for his dignity when he was going through this disease, because there's just things that people with Alzheimer's go through that it's not fair for the whole world to see. It's very personal and private. It's very difficult. But I know that we hurt a lot of people. I guess there was a lot of disappointment because we did not have a funeral, a traditional funeral for my dad. And then again, it's like we knew Dad was eventually going to pass away, whether it was from this disease or the pulmonary fibrosis, which he had, being a miner in a uranium mine in the 1970s. And so we never, because Dad because his mind was affected with Alzheimer's, we never ever even thought to ask what his wishes were for if he passed away. It was just something we just did not do, or did not feel like it was ever the right time. So we never did a funeral. We never had a funeral. I have Dad's ashes here with me. And so we will have kind of a makeshift memorial for my dad. And it's part of an art exhibit that will be in a few days. And that's been kind of hard to set up it's just an exhibit, and it's been pretty hard it's been difficult to think of it, because everything that's racing through my mind is, first of all, did I do enough for Dad when he was alive? And then second of all, am I doing enough after his death in, making sure that he's remembered, and, all of those kind of closure type of things that happen when people pass away. I keep feeling like I missed the mark on that. And each day goes by and I get further and further away from rectifying that for the extended family and my family. So it's just, in my mind, is a little bit of a mess. So hopefully this memorial that we have for him will, I guess solidify that in my heart. But it's been hard. Having to go through photographs and set things up, it's been hard. The other thing that I want to talk about is, for over the last couple of weeks, is my meals. So I really feel like most days I have been carnivore, which would be 0% carbs. There's been about 3 days that I went off plan, either having, something that wasn't carnivore, that had carbs or sugar. And I can tell in my body that it just is such a setback. And I can also tell that it gives me it brings on the craving to eat more sugar or more bread, or something like that. And it's easier to cheat after you've cheated once. It's so much more easier. But it's been, I think I've had three times where I went off plan. I had a piece of chocolate cake. One, I think it would have been last Monday or last Friday. I think it was, no, it would have been the 23rd. And then this cake, it wasn't for me, or it was for the family. And it was a beautiful, beautiful chocolate cake that my brother-in-law brought over. He works with catering, and so I guess there was a surplus, and he doesn't know I'm on carnivore, but it was for anyone but that cake. But anyway, I think we ate like 2 or 3 pieces of it. I ate 1 piece, and other family members ate a couple other pieces, and then I threw it away. So it was a beautiful cake, and I threw it away. And I think it was Friday, we went to set up the little memorial shrine type of thing for my dad at this art gallery where we're having the memorial. And it was just tough. I mean, I don't even know how to explain it, but it was tough. And just being not feeling good with my shoulder and just everything. And I was with my brother and sister, and it's really rare for us to all be together at the same time because we were all so busy doing our own thing. So we decided to go and have dinner together afterwards. And so we went to Chili's, and I ordered, I don't know what it was. It was like some chicken tenders or something with habanero, and there was a quesadilla, a corn elote, and some fries. It's funny because I was like planning on like just pigging out, and I could not. I mean, I got full so fast. I ate a couple of the chicken tenders and a little quarter of the quesadilla, and then I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so full, and I couldn't eat any of it, and I was like so sad because I wanted to eat all of it, but I was like so full. It's really funny how carbs, they just they make you so full because they're just like puffed up nothingness, you know. And when you're eating a steak, I just feel like the fullness is different. It doesn't, you can't overeat a steak, or you can overeat on carnivore because your body, like my body, literally gets repulsed by what I'm eating at a point, and I don't, and it's way before that full feeling takes hold. But with carbs, it's like I can just overeat on carbs to the point where my stomach feels like it's just gonna burst. And that's where I got, and I was like, and it happened so fast, and it feels like I didn't even eat a lot. I took one bite of the elote, and I was like, this is so gross. And anyway, yeah, so, and yeah, and then, the next day I had half of a fry bread and a little Rice Krispie treat, and immediately after I ate those two things, my hands just flared up. My neuropathy it bothered me all the rest of the day, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. You know, it wasn't even something big. It was just like a little mini Rice Krispie treat, like that you get, like they make for trick-or-treat treats or something, and half of an Indian fry bread, which was probably this big, and that was enough to trigger my neuropathy. And like all day long, I was just like, I just, that's disappointing. Anyway, so I kind of, it's frustrating because these are foods that, you know, I love. I grew up with fry bread. I mean, my mom can make the best fry bread in the whole world. And tortillas, my mom makes the best. And these are foods that I cannot eat because there's such an immediate reaction. When I had the cheat meal at Chili's, and it was like a couple of the batter dip chicken tenders and the quesadilla and a couple some of the fries. My sister and I had to go shopping at Walmart to do some errands, and I broke out in the worst hives that I've had in a long. And I have not. I do get hives. I don't think I've ever talked about it, but I do get hives because I have a reaction, and I'm not sure if it's to like the gluten in the flour, or I know that it's malted barley really makes me flare up. So we were walking around in Walmart, and my sister took one look at me, and she's like, "Oh my God, Lisa, your face and your neck, you're getting the hives." And she's got like such a panic on her face. And I was like, I was wondering why I was kind of feeling a little tingly and itchy and kind of like, I don't know, I just started to have it stings. It really stings, and it's itchy. And I was like, man, and I was like, when's the last time I had hives? It's been a while. I've never had the hives on carnivore, ever. It was only when I'm eating outside of that, just either this regular SAD diet, or as a vegan, I was getting hives, you know, quite often. And I usually, it alleviates if I take an Allegra or a Benadryl, um, but it'll go away within like 2 to 3 hours. But in the meantime, my face is just like, I get these welts, and they're like on my neck and my face and my shoulders. I even had one on my toe, and a welt on your toe, it hurts. It's like a sting hurt. Anyway, so we had to cut that short, come home, and I just had to sit in front of the fan just to, you know, feel some relief. So those are the kind of the things that I still have a few, I'm not sure, like rash or something like on my face from just the things that, and I don't know if this is my addiction talking or what, but it doesn't seem like it's a lot. But just that's what's frustrating it feels like just a small amount of this stuff is so toxic to me. You know, it's not like I went to an all-you-can-eat buffet or did a carnivore kip and, you know, went to every fast food like the whole week. It was just like one meal and a few things and one piece of cake and one little like, and I guess those things add up, but it's like my body is so sick and tired of this stuff. And maybe it's just because I've eliminated everything that just seems exacerbated or even more, or I don't know what it is. But so anyway, that's what happened, and I'm trying to be as honest as I can, because I want to track this and I want to document it for, you know, my future, just to see like, oh, that happened, you know. And as a food addict, it's kind of hard to come to terms with the fact that my body cannot handle a lot of things that I've been overeating on and indulging in for years and years. You know, I'm not a biggest fan of meat. That's why it was so easy for me to be a vegan. I never even missed it. I never missed meat. The only thing that I missed being a vegan was maybe a couple of chicken wings and maybe a hot dog or something. Like I never missed steak. I never missed hamburgers. And now that's all I'm eating, and I know these things are good for me. When I eat, like when I was doing Lion Diet, I felt really good, and I wasn't even having any I never had any itching or flare-ups, or, you know, and it's such a bland diet. It's just, it's almost like well, it's an elimination diet, so it is like a fast, which is kind of hard. It's there's nothing celebratory about it, or, you know, except to celebrate the fact that, hey, I'm well again, but, you know, I'm just, all I can eat is steak. So yeah, I'm trying to come to terms with this, and it's very hard. I'm not even gonna lie, it's very hard. So today I'm trying to get back on track. Yesterday I did pretty good yesterday. I made chaffles. I should have. Those came out really good. I did pretty good yesterday. I did have salami cheese and a zero carb tortilla, a couple of those for dinner, but it did not help the neuropathy. It's low carb. It says zero carb on the package, but it did not help with the neuropathy at all. So I don't think I'm gonna have those anymore. Today I had my usual coffee in the morning, and then I didn't eat till about 1:30, almost 2. It was almost 2, because I had to do some errands and I didn't get home. I left early in the morning and I didn't get home till 1. And I made some eggs. So I had some scrambled eggs and about a cup of cottage cheese and another small cup of coffee. This try again, and I need to document this so that I don't forget that if I go off plan just a little bit, it has an effect on me, and it's I can't get around that. There's no way that I can get around the fact that there's certain types of foods that affect me in such a way that it's debilitating, and I don't want to be debilitated because I have too much on my plate that I need to do. I have a small business. I have to do art. Just, I just, so, and then I really want the fruit of my labor for this channel to help someone in the future, maybe a stranger or even a family member or a friend. And it's not really going to help if I keep posting how terrible it's going or how hard it is. But I have to be honest. And that's the thing that, oh my gosh. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay, are you done, baby kids? Anyway, the last thing I say is going off plan. I just wrote, carnivore is hard if you're battling food addiction. True, very true. I am battling food addiction. I did have a chance to talk to an old friend of mine from where I grew up in the same village on the Indian reservation today. And he's battling addiction. He has a different addiction. It's to alcohol. And he's in the hospital because he had a cardiac arrest. Suddenly he died. He died for, I'm not sure how long it was. It was more than a few minutes. He was dead. He was like literally pronounced dead. And then he came back to life. And so, but I saw him today. He's in rehab and he looked pretty good, but we're both believers. And so we just talked about Jesus like the whole time. But it was really neat to listen to him because I could identify so much with what he was saying as far as addiction, because he was saying that, he's been to a lot of rehabs for addiction. And he says that what makes it hard is that nobody talks about is that in the rehabs that he's been to, maybe I've never been to a rehab. I'm not an alcoholic, but my addiction is food. It's different. It's like probably more brushed over and accepted, but he was saying that everybody has drugs and alcohol in rehab, and it's very hard to come out of there sober, but very easy to come out of it deceived, and being able to deceive people that you're well. And my heart just feels bad for my people, that there's so many, and that's probably the case for a lot of people, but for Native Americans, Indian people, American Indians, it's alcohol and diabetes. Those are two types of addictions. Diabetes is just carb addiction, sugar addiction, and I could really, it's like I didn't even know. It was eye-opening to be able to identify with an alcoholic, just the things that he was talking about, and I could understand that. I haven't been to a rehab, but food is everywhere. Food is in your house, it's in your friend's house, your neighbor's house, it's in church, it's everywhere you go, things you do, holidays, get-togethers, it's everywhere, like it. And so you have to make up your mind and do your best to stay on plan. And it's probably a good idea to get some mentorship and just talk about it. But it's also a really good idea to not deceive yourself into thinking that it's okay or you're under control. You've got it under control. My faith is, I find it harder to talk to the Lord if I'm off plan, because I just feel a condemnation, and I just feel like I can't talk to you right now, Lord, because I feel like I failed. But when I get the courage to talk to him, I just feel the love that he has for me and the forgiveness, which is very important. But anyway, besides that, I really appreciated seeing Cassie from, oh my gosh, oh, I forget the channel. I can see it in my mind. Anyway, she's a carnivore influencer and carnivore Kip. And then there was another influencer I saw, Lisa's Blessed Life. I remember her because my name is Lisa. But all these three influencers were open and honest about just going off plan, you know, some type of like a food addiction. Well, that's refreshing for me because it makes me feel like I'm not the only one that this is hard for. And I don't want to be fake and, you know, let you show my world of how beautiful and wonderful it is. And, you know, and I just love these ribeyes, and like, ribeyes are so gross. And it's taken me a whole year to even try to eat a ribeye to the point where it's edible, because and so those are the things I struggle with. Is trying to find the appetite to eat the food that I have to eat to make me better. And so it's for right now, it's like just one meal at a time, and just praying. I'm gonna be more diligent to pray. I know the scriptures, I'm totally paraphrasing this, but one of the scriptures I recognize that a lot of people misquote is something that to the effect of, God doesn't give you something you can handle. And people use this especially when they're going through hard times, but really the scripture has to do with temptation. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to, let me look it up. I'm going to have to look that up. Anyway, maybe somebody in the comments can quote the scripture. I know I can look it up, but I'm using my phone. But at the beginning of that scripture, I don't know if it's one or two before, but it says something about that it's just we have to have faith. Like, we have to have total faith in God, and that He's so faithful to deliver us from the temptation, you know, or something to that effect. And I have to remember that I have to just have a faith and a belief that God is going to get me through this, that I'm not going to starve, and I'm not missing out on something special, but that the reason that I'm here and the reason that I'm eating carnivore is because He wants me to get better. He wants me to be well, and He wants me to enjoy the life that He has for me, the plan that He has for me. And so that's why I'm here. And, you know, I don't know if you're a believer or not believer, but there's a reason that you're watching a carnivore video, and it's because you're looking for a way for health. And this community is one of those communities that you can find just about any influencer that you resonate with, and you can watch their story and be encouraged by it. But it's, you know, where none of us are perfect. I'm not perfect, you know, and it's better to be honest. My niece said, you know, just be honest. And so, yeah, I'm going to be honest that I'm having a hard time. I'm having a hard time eating meat. I really, really am. And it just could be the fact that I didn't eat it for so long. So that's my struggle. Scrambled eggs are okay. I can eat scrambled eggs. Bacon is okay. If you couple bits of bacon is fine, but it's just, you know, the absence of other foods that I'm missing, and the flavors and the varieties, and, you know, the spices. I never knew that those kind of things could have a hold on me. And so it helps me to hear from you. I know a lot of you maybe have similar circumstances, and then it helps me to watch other influencers in the carnivore community the doctors especially. Everyone is so kind and so helpful. Some people are so successful, and that's encouraging as well. And the to do more of what I eat in a day as a journal to document, because it helps me be accountable. That's what I found, that if I'm doing what I eat in a day and I'm going off plan, I don't want to be like, ooh, I can't do that day because look what I'm eating. But I'm going to try to be honest with you guys. So that's what I liked about Lisa's Blessed Life. I think she had like a bologna sandwich or something with some carnivore bread. And that made me feel like, wow, that's very honest. And I really appreciate that, because it's eating nothing but meat is, I'm so sorry. It's kind of hard sometimes. Maybe I will change my mind about that in a few more weeks. Maybe if I feel better and I get more progress. We'll see. But anyway, so I'm signing off here, and I want to thank you so much for watching my videos and subscribing and liking. And again, my name is Lisa, and until we meet again, we'll see you later. Bye.